I don't know if it's breaking news, but definitely some good news for our homies down in Baton Rouge. Garrett Nussmeier is not hitting the transfer portal. Now, a lot of y'all are not surprised by this. I won't say that we're really super surprised by this news, but even with that being said, I think it's very noteworthy, and that's why we're talking about it. Because think about the position that Garrett Nussmeier was in. A guy with a lot of ability, and a guy that if he were to hit the portal, would have been one of the top, if not the top quarterback in there. There's a lot of schools right now that are looking and hoping and praying the right guy hits the portal so they can go and get him onto their football team. So Garrett Nussmeier, with 3 years of eligibility left, would have had a chance to go play somewhere and put a lot of tape on his resume for the future, which you would imagine a guy like Garrett Nussmeier wants to go play in the NFL. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is, with so many people wanting and needing a quarterback right now, the NIL bag that I imagine Garrett Nussmeier would have been able to collect would have been enormous. Okay, it would have been enormous because of, like I just said, the supply and demand and the value on Garrett Nussmeier. It would have been a very appealing offer, I have to imagine. But again, he's staying in Baton Rouge. What does this mean for LSU? What does it mean for Brian Kelly in 2023? Like, you got your quarterback for the future. We all already know that. For 2023, what does it mean? Got some thoughts. LSU fans, lock it in right here. We talk about your Tigers a whole heck of a lot. We talk about college football here every single day. You're a junkie for this sport. We're junkies for this sport. Let's hang out. Make sure you subscribe to the On3 YouTube channel. Again, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on the gram at JDPakel. Great way for me to hear from y'all. So we appreciate y'all for that. As I was saying, what does it mean for LSU in 2023? Well, for starters, you have a really solid backup. And you never, ever want your starting quarterback to go down. But should it happen, should the vicious game of football rear its ugly head and you're not able to have Jaden Daniels for whatever reason, Brian Kelly says, hey, I got not one but two quarterbacks that we can win this conference with. I don't think Brian Kelly's just saying that. I don't think he's just saying that to make Garrett Nussmeier feel good and hope he stays and hopes he doesn't jump in the portal. Like, I think he said that wholeheartedly meaning it. And we saw what Garrett Nussmeier did in the bowl game. We saw what he did against Georgia. I don't care who it was against. Dude can play some ball now. I think you can win with Garrett Nussmeier. So should you not be able to play with Jaden Daniels, I think you still feel very encouraged about your chances to win a football game with Garrett Nussmeier as your starting quarterback. The thing that I don't know is getting talked about nearly enough is you have Garrett Nussmeier now helping Jaden Daniels elevate his game. I mean, you got two quarterbacks that, according to Brian Kelly, can help you win the SEC, going back and forth in practice, pushing each other from a competitive standpoint, helping each other with what they're seeing in team drills or helping each other on the sideline. Like, having two good quarterbacks on your roster is a very good thing in all senses of that situation. Competitive aspect and a multiple sets of eyeballs aspect when it comes to reading defenses and whatever it may be. Many hands makes light work, and I think that's what Garrett Nussmeier on your roster helps get done with Jaden Daniels as your starting quarterback. But the other piece of this, and this is, I think, even more crucial, you can feel more comfortable as an LSU fan and as someone internally at LSU letting Jaden Daniels cook. Because what does he do so well? What was the piece of his game that really propelled LSU to the next level last season? When he got out on the edge and he was either going to throw it or run it, and that linebacker's in a bind because he doesn't know if he needs to cover Mason Taylor or rally up on Jaden Daniels, decides to cover Mason Taylor, and then Jaden Daniels takes off. Jaden Daniels' legs and what he does in the ground game, that makes him special. That makes him different than nearly every other quarterback in college football. Hold that thought for a second. Anthony Richardson was a lot of the same for Florida last year. His legs were the secret to a lot of their success last year. When he was running the football well, they were more than likely going to win a football game. But with Anthony Richardson, you were concerned about his health. If he went down, who did you have behind him? You weren't able to let AR be AR. Because if AR were to run the football and run the risk of getting hurt, there's nobody behind him you feel great about. You're probably downstream with no paddle, if you catch my drift there. For Jaden Daniels, again, you hope he stays healthy, but if he's not able to stay healthy, you feel really good about plan B. And so you feel just much more comfortable saying, Jayden Daniels, play your game, boss. We got a backup option if we need it, but we're going to let you do what you do special. Let you do what you do best. We're going to let you go and run the football. You can feel more confident now with Garrett Nussmeier behind him as a backup plan. You're not planning for Jayden Daniels to go down. You're not planning to be without Jayden Daniels, but having a guy like Garrett Nussmeier behind him, I think that's an enormous luxury to have in Baton Rouge. So here's the other piece of this that I think we need to address. Garrett Nussmeier probably had options, probably could have gone elsewhere. I wholeheartedly believe could start at a lot of places tomorrow with a lot of years of eligibility left. So he's going to stay this year, right? He'll have 2 years left after Jayden Daniels leaves for the NFL. You don't make the decision that Garrett Nussmeier made without believing in Brian Kelly's vision for LSU and then trusting the direction that LSU is headed. Garrett Nussmeier is bought in. Brian Kelly has cultivated a culture of buy-in, and he's got something that players want to be a part of. Even a backup quarterback with a ton of ability like Garrett Nussmeier. So this speaks volumes to the program. This speaks volumes to how Brian Kelly has built this thing, and I think it speaks volumes to the conversations that I would imagine Brian Kelly is having with Garrett Nussmeier about his future and what he can accomplish in Baton Rouge. The future is enormously bright for Garrett Nussmeier. I believe the future is enormously bright for LSU well past 2023. And Garrett Nussmeier, it sounds like, is going to be a Tiger for a long time. So good people in Baton Rouge, get fired up. This has been The Hard Count. Nick Brake, Lifting Heavy. This is your show. We are live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. That video will be scheduled under the live tab on this channel. Hit the bell on the channel. Hit the bell under that video when it becomes available so you make sure you know when we go live. But we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.